All right, Bulls and Bears, back with another dose. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the state of life right now in the U.S. and across the globe, but specifically here in the U.S., record high cost of living, the most people working multiple jobs since 2009. That was just coming out of the financial crisis. That was just as home prices were starting to come down. Things were still pretty expensive. Of course, things now being more expensive than back then, you have as many people back then or now as back then working multiple jobs, right? We're going to hear from some of those people today. But first, let's take a look at what some people are doing here. This is October, so let's talk about this story. Police in Ohio had to chase down an inflatable pumpkin. What a waste of resources.
Dude, I was kind of like following it, and it kept blowing away. And when I went to grab it over here, it took off. I was pretty much in pursuit. I don't know, we're trying to deflate it, but it's not really.
So I think they ended up deflating it. They just had to, I think, cut it and let the air out. So there you go. If you never want to be bored, you can be a police officer. Very challenging job, in my opinion, but looks like you would definitely never get bored. Pretty interesting. Also, something else pretty interesting before we get into the other news. A zoo in Denmark asked patrons to donate their pets, not as attractions for the zoo, but for food, folks. You thought the USA was crazy. Look what they're doing in Denmark. That's insane. The Aalborg Zoo asked people to donate unwanted pets that would be gently euthanized and fed to predator animals in captivity, chickens, rabbits, guinea pigs, from an important part of an important part of the diet for predators. Wow. So again, you thought the United States was crazy. Look what's happening in other countries. That's insane, if you ask me. All right, people, let's get into it. We're going to hear from some of these people working multiple jobs. And from what I see, it's mostly younger people. Now, there's still plenty of older people working multiple jobs. But what's interesting, about half of the people working multiple jobs have a college degree. More Americans with college degrees are working multiple jobs. We reported on this back when this came out back in March. But we're going to hear from a few people today. And I think you'll see a commonality amongst the different people that are working multiple jobs, right? Take a look at this first.
Come to work with me as a young mom working 2 jobs, while also having a small cleaning business on the side. Today I work at Dunkin' Donuts from 4 to 7 a.m. Then I go to the dental office from 8 to 5. Then I go to my cleaning job from 5 to 7. So come work with me. This is my drink for today, you guys. I am taking a pink drink. I just finished my shift here at Dunkin' Donuts, you guys, from 4 to 7 a.m. Now I'm gonna change real quick for my 8 to 5.
For today, you guys, I am straightening my hair and I'm just adding like a little wave in the bottom. This is my scrubs of the day, you guys. I got about 20 minutes. It is currently 7:25 right now, so let me finish up real quick. This is the look, you guys. So I'm all done. This is how the hair is looking. The back, I know I did miss a few spots, like I did not curl all the way, but this will do, you guys. I'm just gonna go to work. I am not gonna go to no dinner date or something like that. So I'm gonna go right now to go get my manager's coffee.
Folks, she's happy for working multiple jobs, but did you hear what she said at the beginning? She's working 3 jobs essentially because she has a side cleaning business, she said, in addition to the 2 jobs that she's working.
It's currently 7:51 right now. I am outside already at the office. So before I go clock in, I'm going to show you guys my drink for today. So since I'm feeling cutesy today and, you know, wearing all pink and stuff, I did get myself a pink drink at Dunkin' Donuts. I added cold foam, but...
Folks, I've never ordered a drink to match my outfit, but maybe some of you out there have. She ordered the drink to match her outfit.
The cold foam kind of, you know, melted. But this is a pink drink from Dunkin' Donuts. It is made with milk and strawberry refresher. I did add 2 liquid sugars and the cold foam. Today's outfit, you guys, I did get this bow scrub outfit from Shein. And then I am wearing my black long sleeve underscrubs, my Apple Watch, and then my pink Crocs that I got at Play-Doh's.
Okay, so these videos are more than just talking about multiple jobs. She's kind of integrating fashion into it and some other things too.
Oh, and also, you guys have been requesting me to do what's in my bag that I take at the dental office as a receptionist. I will do a video tomorrow. I haven't had the time just because you guys know I work early in the mornings at Dunkin' Donuts, and then I go straight to the bathroom to go change. But tomorrow I do not work at Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, so I will have time to record in the morning. So also, you guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I will answer some questions tomorrow when I do the video early in the morning. But yeah, you guys, so call me inside to go clock in. Oh, he's eating something. What is it?
I also brought you a little.
He always buys me this. Thank you, guys.
For me, you and Jess.
Oh, he bought me soda. This is why I'm gaining weight, you guys, because she always.
All right, you guys get the point. She's working at a dental office. She's working the side cleaning job, Dunkin' Donuts, and then really it's a fourth job because if she's putting out videos, that takes editing. I think she's trying to make money off of that too. But do you notice one thing in common with a lot of people working so hard, working multiple jobs and long hours is she has a family. Right at the beginning, she said, come along with me as a young mother. And my question is, are you spending more time at work than you are with your family? Do you even get to see your kids? Because everything's so expensive now. The cost of having a family, raising a family, is causing people to have to work so much. If you're someone that stays at home and you have one income and you have a family, especially kids under 18, of course, consider yourself really, really blessed because many people just can't do it, right? And then who watches the kid? She probably has, hopefully she has someone in her family to help watch her kid because you're going to pay so much in childcare if you don't have somebody to watch your child that working the second job might just be meaningless because you're just, everything you're making extra is just going towards childcare. So you might as well just be at home with the child. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are doing this, and I noticed that it's young people and people starting a family are the people with their backs up against the wall the most, right? So I would be really careful about, life's decisions because you might end up working a job that you don't like. Now, she was happy. She was smiling, making videos, but she's young. Imagine working in this case, 2, 3, maybe even 4 jobs if you look at social media being a job. Imagine doing this in your 40s, 50s, 60s. If you're still scraping by in those years and you have to work multiple jobs, you may not be as happy and, joyful as this young person was making this video. All right, here's somebody that's going to explain their reason for working multiple jobs. And it has to do with depression.
I think you should work 2 jobs. I think you should work 50 hours a week, and this is why. I work 2 jobs. I work every single day of the week, and I work about 50 to 55 hours a week total. When I started doing this, I'm a few weeks in, and family and friends keep asking me like, oh, you're going to get burnt out. Are you burnt out yet? Blah, blah, blah. My next day off isn't for another 2 weeks. Christmas Day is my next day off. And to answer them, I'm not burnt out. I feel great. I feel better than I did before working that much. Because when I was working part-time, I had more time at home to sit around and feel sorry for myself and kind of get in a depressive state and feel like I wasn't doing enough. I would think about how I'm not where I want to be. Working every single day has made me feel so useful and productive. And I'm not getting burnt out because one of my jobs is an office job and one of my jobs, I'm on my feet. I've got a good balance physically. They're both pretty easy jobs. So I'm not mentally drained, and I rotate the job. So one day I'm working at the apartment, next day I'm working at the restaurant, and I rotate like that. So keeps things fun and different. But yeah, ever since working 2 jobs, my mental health has been amazing. So if you're depressed, I would 10 out of 10 recommend doing that because then you also make more money. So it's a win-win.
There you go. If you're depressed, work multiple jobs. Now, it sounds like she wasn't working 2 full-time jobs. It might have been 2 part-time jobs. That can actually be pretty good because then you don't get sick of doing the same thing over and over if you have a monotonous job or a repetitive job. If they're both part-time.
So I'm not mentally drained. And
I started playing again. If they're both full-time, though, I think that would be a problem. I don't want to work a bunch of overtime. I want to work as little as possible. When I'm working too much, I actually get depressed. Now, she put it out there as a way to not get depressed because you're busy and you're not thinking about your problems. You're not drowning in sorrows. I'm just the opposite. When I'm working a lot, I think of all the other things that I could be doing. Right? Back when I used to work a lot, I used to be more depressed back then. Working less now, I think I'm less depressed and definitely happier. And I think it's because I have things I love to do outside of work. If you have hobbies that you're passionate about that you love, right? Whether it's gardening or just being with your family, whatever, hobbies, maybe it's hiking, whatever your thing is, going to the gym, playing basketball, whatever it is. That can make you, I think, happier. But then if you're broke, then you see there's got to be a balance there, right? Nobody wants to be broke. But if you could still scrape by and still not have to work so much, there's a lot of people out there that would actually choose that lifestyle as well. To each his own. I mean, everybody's got their own thing. But take a listen to this. Companies, in some cases, can retaliate against you for having multiple jobs, right? I've heard about this, but I didn't really hear it broken down, right? Take a listen to this.
Get fired from your job because the company you work for finds out that you have a second job? In many cases, yes. My name is Craig Levy, and I'm an employment law attorney. Many employers don't want their full-time employees working for a second company at the same time. Oftentimes, an employment agreement or an employee handbook will specifically state that there's no moonlighting, or it'll state that the employee cannot work for any other employer at the same time as they're employed by this company. And because most employees are at-will employees, the company can terminate an employee for any reason whatsoever so long as it's not illegal, and that includes working for another business. Now, in many instances, the employee can approach the company, explain the situation to them that they have a job that won't interfere with their current position, and a lot of employers won't have an issue with this. And of course, if you're a part-time employee, a lot of employers will expect you to have a second job because you're part-time. But just be cautious of the fact that if you're a full-time employee and your company finds out that you have employment at the same time elsewhere, you might get terminated.
That's messed up, folks. Can you imagine? Everything's so expensive. You can't get by on one job. So you take a second job. The other job finds out about it and they fire you because you're not giving full attention to them. So on one hand, it could be that the companies think you're working maybe for a competitor and you're maybe doing things that aren't beneficial for the company. On the other hand, it might be they feel like you're going to be too tired and burned out to be effective at their job or at their company. And those are the kind of the two reasons that I've thought about. I mean, let me know down in the comments if there's other reasons. They call it no moonlighting. Can you imagine, though, being fired for working two jobs, but you're having to do it out of necessity, but then now you get fired from one job. So then you're even in a bigger mess, right? So definitely talk to your employer if you're someone that's having a hard time getting by, thinking about working two jobs. Talk to your other employer. If you're working part-time, they're probably not going to care because you're not going to be burned out working 40 hours total. Hopefully not anyways. If you're in good health, you won't be. But definitely talk to your job if you're thinking about that. I don't want to hear about anyone getting fired for trying to work hard. That's completely backwards. All right, folks, we have to talk about it. Why are so many people having to work multiple jobs? The cost of living. And it's
now
October
more than
now.
The federal minimum wage.
Sorry, we're going to play that in a second. It's October now. Costs haven't come down. Prices are higher now than they were at the beginning of the year. People thought that the new administration was going to come in and actually help things, but actually, no, things have gotten worse because of many reasons. We've talked about it here many times. But take a listen to this.
1 pound of ground beef is now more than the federal minimum wage, guys. How crazy is this? And like, how far are they going to let these grocery prices get before they realize that regular people can just not afford this crap? Like, right now, let's do a comparison. Let's use like a couple big chains at where I live. I'm on the West Coast. So we've got like Albertsons, we've got Vons, we've got Stater Brothers, which I think is kind of like a West Coast thing. All of those are about twice the price of an Aldi, a Walmart, a Winco, a Safeco, or a Heb, or like a Food for Less if you have that. So I will tell you that of all the places that I'm shopping right now, Aldi happens to be my favorite. And no, they don't have everything. And Aldi is like the great value brand at Walmart. That's all they have in the whole store is the Aldi brand. So there's not as much selection, but I like a lot of the stuff that they have there. So I did a price comparison out here. Stater Brothers, which is down the street from me, has amazing butcher department. The meat department is great. So I went and bought my weekly groceries there, $240. Next week, compared it, same level of groceries, $117 at Aldi. So it's completely insane. I think these big chains like Albertsons, Vons, Staters are going to have major financial. 1 pound.
I've shopped at all of those stores. Aldi's is good, very good prices, low prices. I don't think what he said is true though. He said they only sell their store brand in there. I've seen other brands like drinks and
more than
cereal
the
and
federal
stuff.
minimum wage.
Sorry, these videos just keep playing. Folks, you got to watch your budget. If you want to save up, if you want to have money to invest, you've got to watch your budget. We're going to hear from somebody that actually is trying to do that, but they don't have money left at the end of the month to invest, but they want to invest. And that's another problem too. To get ahead, you really need to invest in most cases. Now, if you have a low overhead, low cost of living, you may just get by just fine just on your one job. Maybe you're making $20 an hour, maybe not even that. It depends on, what your expenses are. Maybe you inherited a house for free, right? I talked to somebody last week. I talk to clients every day at my job. Talked to somebody last week. They got a house for free. They inherited a house from one of their parents that passed away. And so this person has a property. It's only like not even 40 years old yet, paid off property. So this person's working, got plenty of money to invest. So someone like that's really going to do just fine. But you got to get really lucky to have a house that's paid off. Then hopefully your taxes and everything else, the upkeep of the house, hopefully that's not too crazy. But take a listen to this.
Feeling in between, like kind of struggling, waiting for your next paycheck so you can go to the store and buy some goodies and some food for the house, you know what I'm saying, where you're like, let me use what I got at the house, you know what I'm saying. There's no better feeling than when your paycheck hits after struggling a little bit and you're like, oh, that sense of relief comes and you're like, oh, I can go buy my babies some things that they've been wanting, right, instead of me telling them, no, put it back, such a good feeling. Like, and I know I'm not the only one. I know you guys are feeling this too. These groceries are like just crazy expensive, bro. And when I feel like that, there's something that goes on like with my nervous system. It just makes me all out of whack. So now that I'm a little calm and I'm regulated, let's go home and give some snacks to my babies.
You heard her. She has babies, folks. It's a common theme. People with families are the ones feeling it the most from what I see. I mean, if you have a family, let me know down in the comments. Is it difficult? Families are expensive. Kids are expensive. The food bill now with grocery prices where they're at, basically all-time highs, feeding all these mouths. I don't know how people are doing it, I've done it here for years. I've got a family here in California. But again, that's me investing and doing all kinds of extra stuff to be able to do that, to be able to raise a family on one income here in San Diego, California. My wife doesn't work. She has ran kids to different schools for years now. She does things around the house, which is actually a full-time job, really, because if you don't have help and you're running a household that has little people in it and kids, you're that's more than a full-time job, in my opinion. It really never stops, right? But anyways, let's take a listen to a couple more things, and then we're going to get into some other news on the other side of this. But first, take a listen.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription, everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC, not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
Folks, I mean, you can't say she's wrong. And I've tried not to be political. I'm not a political person. I don't even vote because I think it's all a mess on both sides. When you elect a billionaire to try to fix things for the average working person, it's meaningless. It's not going to ever work out in the favor of the working person, right? They told you that it would be good. They told you tax cuts for the ultra wealthy, the mega corporations. It's going to trickle down, they told you, because if the company's going to save money, they're going to make it better for all the workers. No. They go out and they invest more. They pay more for themselves. The CEO gets paid more. Folks, you know where this is headed. Right now, it's not crazy insane where there's like a ton of foreclosures. Foreclosures are actually still pretty low, even though they are up, I think, between 18 and 20% from last year, which is a big increase. But still, the levels that we're at now pale in comparison to like the financial crisis. So we're still at a point now where people are still scraping by, working multiple jobs. But you heard her, she's a business owner, still worried, still almost crying on camera about the cost of living. And she's a business owner, right? So a lot of people worse off than her, that's for sure. And if things continue in this direction, not that it's that bad right now. Again, we're not seeing mass foreclosures right now. Things are pretty high. Things are at and higher than the financial crisis in some categories. Repossessions for vehicles, late rents are up there, close to the financial crisis. But we're not past that point yet. We're not at the tipping point yet. But if things continue to just get more expensive, we have to get there eventually, folks. And maybe you're already there. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I was there last year. But for most of the population is what I'm talking about, the majority of people. Are we there or are we almost there? How does this end, people? Let me know down in comments. Are you investing also? There's been some buying opportunities coming up in the market because of those crazy tariffs. They bumped up another 100% tariffs on China. Added another 100% tariffs. Who knows? It may be temporary, hopefully. But that kind of scared the markets. It is creating some investment opportunities. We'll get into that in the next video a little bit more. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Hope to see you in the next video. Keep stacking. Bye for now. Peace.